everyone, welcome to the channel for new battle report. So this is actually the last training game that I played at home, and I'm recording this just the day before flying to Krakow. I'm going to have another practice game in Krakow just before ETC, and then we'll start with ETC battle report. So the video next to this one will be the practice, and after that we will start with ETC battle report. Very excited to go to the ETC and make battle report of those games that I hope will be very entertaining. Let's go. So I had the last training game on Warhall against Lichmeister, who's a friend of mine who is very often playing VC, and basically I wanted to have a go at the Polish VC list, which is very unusual. I wanted to see how that that 5 courtiers in the list could potentially boost those 3 combat block and the huge magical setup. I wanted to see what are the tricks, and at the same time I felt I haven't played against Vampire for a long time, so wanted to get a bit of training against them. So as you can see, he has a huge number of spells. He has Master Evocation, Adept Alchemy, then he has 5 courtiers, one of them being the General on Shamanism. We have the BSB, no, General is on Evocation, I think, yeah, with a 2-up. Then he has the BSB on Shamanism with a Legend Standard that's going to go most likely within the Skeleton block and the Code together to get a very good block of Static Res 7. And then he has a couple of Mobile Courtier that are quite killy. Other than that, 3 blocks, 37 ghouls, 35 skeletons plus a quote. 32 Beauregard with a Relentless Banner. Most likely is going to have the character split between Beauregard and Skellies, I would say, but very depends on the matchup. Then he has multiple units of Chaff, Bat Swarm, Great Bats, Phantom Host as well, can be a kind of Chaff. And then the unit of Race that is always impactful, potentially is also a good way to protect his flanks. And he has 2 spell move in the list at least. Yeah, I think two of them, with the Master Evocation and also one from Witchcraft in the list. We were playing all the ground on Surging Tides. I really wanted to try out a matchup where we would fight, and as you can see, he has a crazy high amount of spell, which is not the same as my magical setup where I only have 4 spells, but this is enough for my list to work. Matchup analysis. So we have 3 big blocks, a lot of Chaff, mobile character to buff the unit and make those infantry block way better. I think, we're playing all the ground, so I would be happy to start to get board control, move forward, and get closer to the middle of the map. I need to play my Overlord and Giant, which are very good pieces in the matchup, but very carefully due to the Reaper. So I need to pay attention what the Reaper might do, and I really want to avoid them causing wounds on those 2 single models that are really good. The Overlord is better than his character in close combat, so definitely a very good counter. And the Giant as well can be very good against his infantry that doesn't have a lot of AP. So really thinking those 2 pieces are key in the matchup, and I need to handle them with care. Let's move on to the deployment. For one time I have the pictures upside down. I hope it doesn't bother you, but I'm upwards. So my opponent won the roll for side. He gave me obviously the Impassable facing the middle of the map. Playing all the ground, I think it's good advantage for him, but luckily for me I have a scoring unit that has Ghost Step, so I'm able to neglect that and drop for first turn. I place my Bastion on the right part of the Impassable because straight facing that is a lake that is going to be annoying for his infantry, so I'm feeling that's something I could use to my advantage and to protect better the Bastion. So I place the Bastion here, Lugas obviously behind Impassable, Vassal Levies, then we have here the second unit of Blunderbuss, and on the far right I place Anointed together with Incarnate, and on the far left my 2 single model, Overlord Giant, which is very well countered. I think my opponent was able to, I think here, it's not up to debate, the scoring unit should be around the middle, so no big regrets here, but definitely I exposed too much my single model. He is able to place the Reaper on the left, then Phantom Host, the double bats, the Court, ghouls, and here we have Beauregard, so slightly left flank strong and nothing crazy on the right. He has some more Bat Swarms on the right, but I think here it's key that he's able to exploit basically the fact that I put the 2 single model without magical support to threaten, magical missile to threaten the Wraith. So they are pretty free to operate on this left flank. So definitely here I think to switch the Incarnate for left flank and put at least one single model here on the right would have been better. I think definitely it would have been a better choice. Let's move on to my turn 1. Push forward the map, so I exploit here this right part of the map where I should be way stronger than him, so I push really hard with my units. In Magic Phase I failed the Breast Weapon, but I get a Grave Call to kill 7 guards, and my opponent dispel Rot Within. His turn 1, pushes forward towards the middle, but as you can see I'm quite close, and closer than him, starts to move the Reapers towards front line by using the heal so that I don't have any line of sight. And then Magic Phase, he healed back 5 of the Bar Guards. My turn 2, I activate the Chaff to chaff both the Ghoul with, I forgot to mention, but he has 2 Vampires here. Here we have General, the 2 Necromancers, and in this unit he has Vampire and then the BSB. So that's how it is at the moment. So yeah, on my turn 2 I'm able to chaff those 2 blocks, and the third block I'm able to move around with the Incarnate so that doesn't see me. I'm starting to move those guys slightly sideways to cover for the Bastion in case you would attempt a long charge. And other than that, I like redeploy my single model, so I'm able to deploy here the Overlord. And obviously I went through on turn 1 with the Lugas, so I'm able to redeploy the Overlord far away from his Reaper where I can have an impact. I have Kingslayer, so I would do good against those units, and I'm also moving back the Giant. I don't want to get hurt by the Reapers. In the Magic Phase I get a Breast Weapon and kill like 7 ghouls, so crazy good. I got also Rot Within on the Bow Guard, which I think was the wrong target. Should have cast it on the court with the characters. I think would have been way better. And my opponent dispels the Grave Call. Shooting also went crazy, and I killed another 7 ghouls, so 14 of them in one turn, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So huge result. His turn 2, he chaffs me back and charge my chaff with the court. Redeploy his flying model to avoid the charge, and gives me here front, and he start to maneuver. One character is in the unit, so one Vampire is moved in this unit basically. I moved the Reapers and the Host forward. In the Magic Phase he got heal on the ghouls, heal back 6 or 7 of them. He got Big Twisted Effigy on my Bastion, which avoid me to shoot, and gives me a -2 to magic. And yeah, I think that's about it. Close combat, he kills all except like 5. Then I flee through the bats, lose another 2, and I'm going to rally on half leadership, which I'm not going to achieve. So at some point they are going to move out of the table. My turn 3. I charge with the Bastion that can't shoot against the bats. I continue my redeployment, so I'm able to move the Giants here before those guys move back, and to fly over with the Overlord to get in a way that I can support the Bastion. In case anything charges me, I can fly over and charge. Those guys continue to move sideways to get a very good angle. In case he charges, I would have a good flank charge, and those guys again move to his flank. So basically I'm applying pressure on the flank to force a block to look the other way around and a bit disturb his battle line, so to say. Magic Phase. And also I forgot to mention, but on turn 2, obviously I got the first point for all the ground, so it's 1-0. So on turn 3 I'm bringing again 2 scoring close to the middle, so you would need to bring 3 to win it. So we'll see how he reacts to that. In the Magic Phase, got Breast Weapon on the champion of Infernal Warrior, which gets dispelled obviously, and I got a Grave Call on the bats here in the back. But I only did 2 wounds, so it would have been nice to get rid of another chaff piece. Close combat, I kill the bats and reform. His turn 3, he fly the 2 remaining bats to chaff again the Lugar and the Bastion, which allows him to push forward with 2 blocks close to the middle, plus also the unit of Power Guard that are also close to the middle, so it's going to equalize to 1-1. Reaper were able to escape line of sight. I don't know why, I should have paid more attention. But yeah, this feels a lot, but he was able to do 12. I felt I could have angled a bit better to avoid that. So a bit lazy from me here. What do we got? He moves the second Vampire into the Bow block, which gives a front to those guys as well. He plays those guys as a counter charger, and here the ghouls are reformed 5 wide, basically ready to accept anything that I could give. And he moves also forward with the court to get close to me. As long as the Lugars are chaffed, I can charge here. I cannot get a third triple charge due to those guys being too wide. And if I get anything, it would be any combo charge, it would be steadfast and could counter charge me with multiple things. So not so interesting for me. In the magic phase, he gets 8 gold back from a heal. I dispel, reroll to wound on the Barguard. Obviously, I want to go into combat, and he gets +1 +1 strength and AP on the Barguard to help his vampire and Barguard do more wounds. On my turn, so I'm going to engage. I had a bit of debate. Should the Overlord charge on 9 Swift into the flank, which is obviously a very juicy charge. If I make it, the Barguard are dead in 1 turn or 2. But I elected to make a safer choice. I felt between Incarnate and Turk Anointed, I'm going to do a lot of damage to this unit. I don't mind the counter charge. Those guys have strength 2. They are not going to do much except then a charge and a flank. So I don't care too much. And then just bring the Overlord over to make sure that I get the counter charge in 2 turns of combat. I should still be there, at least with Anointed, and then I can just finish him. So I felt, okay, let's do that. It's the safest way. I like the fact that by the Anointed charging here, I'm within 6 of the middle of the map. So that's scoring. So I get 3. I use the Giant as a chaff in front of the Ghouls. I don't mind them. And here basically we will see. I leave my blunderbuss a bit circled. I reform them quite wide. They were already I reformed them 10 wide to get a lot of shot at the Skellies. And basically I have multiple IDs. Depends how he's going to charge. If he charges with the Reapers, I could flee all the way here and then reform a good battle line with all my strengths on this part of the map, which I wouldn't mind. I could also stay and plan for the counter charge of the Lugar. So I can decide a bit what I want to do. In the magic phase, I got Gravecall on the Skellies, so I wanted really to reduce a bit his big block to make potential combat a bit harder for him. I failed Rot Within. He dispelled a breast weapon in the combat, obviously. Shooting, I kill another 4 skeletons with my 20 blunderbuss shot from the unit. And then close combat, I think I roll, I kill about 7. I would say his vampire got first, and with 2 vampires, he killed 2 full incarnate, which was a bit sad for me because it's like 4 attack on 3s and 2s and 5 attack on 2s and 2s again. And then I have 5 ward save. So I fail all my ward save. He kill exactly 2 model. But I go back with 12 attack on 4+, 3+ roll to wound. Then I got 3 grind on 4+ roll to wound. No armor save for him. And then I got another 3 stomps on a 3+, so reroll. So really nice. Plus the 7 attack from Anointed and 2 automatic hits, strength 5, impact and stomp. So that's enough to do a lot of damage. I kill about 10, I would say, and he did slightly less in return, but it was, I think, a tight combat at this turn. Let's move on to his turn. He even kill a bit more. He kill afterwards. He kill another incarnate with his attack, which didn't allow me to do any reform tricks in case I wanted to avoid this charge, but I think I don't care too much. So he charged me in the flank. Here we still engage. Here charge with the ghoul against my giant and turn around the court. And because he charged first with the Reaper against those guys, I elected to flee. I lost out of 12 DTs, 9 guys, so that's a lot. But basically here I save the points. I can rally them 1 wide and go for the secondary turn 6 to bring another scoring unit, and I saved, so quite happy about that. The rest just pushed toward me, but that's a magic move unit, so a magic attack unit, so good counters for Reapers and Phantom Host. And that's about it. I think he reformed those guys a bit differently. He made like a column to have the bubble for the ghouls and Barguard. No, he couldn't because of them. No, he didn't, sorry. Magic phase. What have we got? So he healed 7 Barguards. He failed the breast weapon. And I dispel, reroll to hit, reroll to wound. So that was good for me because now he has no buffs anymore. Close combat. I remember the vampire didn't do that much. They did like 2 wounds. My incarnate did a good job, but my anointed fluffed. And basically he lost by a bunch. He lost combat on the counter charge, so that wasn't expected. And he reformed 1 wide to give a flank to my overlord with a champion. I think could have placed slightly better to make it a back in case he did that. I didn't check it, so. But to be honest, it doesn't. It matters. Obviously, it matters, but yeah, could have done slightly better here with the Overlord. So I charged with the Overlord on my turn. I elected to charge with the Lugas against his Phantom Host, and then I felt I can reform, look at them, and basically he can charge me. I'm going to be steadfast and then counter charge. So I felt that should be nice. Riding and rollable, push forward with the Bastions a bit more forward to chaff his court to avoid boom boom boom. And then I'm going to magic and shoot them to reduce the numbers to make the fight safer for me. In the magic phase, what happened? And obviously after turn 3, he tied. He got 3, so 1-1. And turn 4, I got another point because I had 3 scoring units. He had only 2 due to the Barguard crumbling. So I have 2-1 at the beginning of turn 5. That's also a hard decision for the Lugas because I'm moving them away from the center. And I felt charging against the court is a risky one. We can also debate the fact of the charge of the Reaper against them. I don't know if he would have charged the court as well. If he would, then he would have been out of the center, and then I can decide whether or not I want to charge with the Lugas. So I didn't know exactly. I debated a bit about these choices. In the end, I elected to flee, save the points, and he didn't have to charge with the court. But it's something, we can talk about. So anyway, I elected here to charge instead of staying here because staying here would mean he could chaff me next turn, so I lose a turn. So I felt, let's charge, try to kill them, reform wide, look at the court, and then he can charge me in the back. I can kill him potentially. I have magical attack 3+2+, should be nice. And then I should be free and able to counter charge. So at least that was my idea. We will see how that goes. In the magic phase, I go with Gravecall on the Skellies, kill 5 and get Attribute of Alchemy here. Bastion shot, kill another 4 Skellies. And close combat, I do everything except 1 Phantom Host. So he's still alive on 1 wound, which changed a lot. And to add salt to the wounds, I completely forgot to reform wider. And as you will see, it will matter. This close combat, he gives me the champ. At least I challenge. And I kill the champ with extra kill. I do good amount of wound. I think it kills the Incarnate. The bat pops. And it remains with only... I would say... No, I didn't do that much. Actually, yeah, I didn't do that much. Incarnate are alive on 1 wound. And... I remember this time I think doing 0 wounds to those guys, so I continue to fluff a bit with the Anointed, but doesn't matter that much. He charged me with the court on his 5, charge here with the Reaper, and like I was saying, I could have just reformed wider, and then it's just a question of maximizing the attack, and I should have been able to kill them, so a bit disappointed here. Anyway, and I think it's this time where he reforms... Did he reform to buff those guys? Heal, I don't remember exactly. I would say he made like a column to heal everybody. We will see. In the magic phase, he got bubble heal 1 time on Skellies and Barguard. And he also heal another time, another 4 Barguard. So I think he healed, no, he healed a total, maybe total of 4. I'm not sure about that, we'll see. And on the Barguard this time, I'm winning by a lot. I did a lot of combat result. So I'm winning by a lot. Yeah, I think he didn't cast... Yeah, I didn't issue the challenge this time. And I didn't as well to strike against the unit. And I did a lot of damage. So anyway, so I kill a lot. His Vampire could only strike at my Incarnate and do a wound. So that's not much. And the rest I won by a lot. And he popped only surviving, which is key, with 2 wounds. So basically I was missing 1 wound to make him pop completely and get 2 free pivot, which would be the end. I think so, because then I get some free units here that can counter charge everywhere. So that was really, really key. But he was just alive with 1 wound each. The Bastion passed steadfast. I would say maybe I even won combat. I think I won. Yeah, this time I won combat. I did more wounds than him. I tried to crush attack. His Vampire didn't pass, but I did a lot of wounds with the normal Dwarves, and he really fluffed. So I won combat here. I killed some, but he's still alive after popping, and the Giant still in combat. yeah, like you see, reform that way. So I could have got here giant reform in the front, maybe charging in between, those guys turning around, charging the generals unit. So I could have got a lot of points here in case those guys popped, but they are still alive with 2 wounds. Yeah, I just on my turn 6 bring another unit here, because we last turn I had 1, 2, and he had 1, 2. So we tied. Yeah, we tied. And this turn I bring another 1. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 for me, where I can only have 2 and not more. So I'm going to, it was already 2-1 for me, and this time going to be 3-1, I would say. But no matter what, I win secondary. Yeah, what happened here, I kill the remaining unit in the magic phase. I get pentagram in the skellies here, do 2 wounds. Then close combat, we're in challenge between his BSB and mine. He's going to do 1 wound to me. I'm going to fail the crush again. I lose a bit, but I'm steadfast 9 rollable, so all good. Combat, yeah, I finished that. The giant still engage. He's turn 6. Yeah, still engage. He's trying to pop. He heals like 10 skellies, 8 ghouls, and he failed the reroll to wound. Little strike on 3 dice, so not so lucky for him. And basically, on this last turn, finally I crush attack the vampire and kill him. My BSB does a wound to his BSB, did nothing to me, and then nothing crazy. I end up winning this combat, which I didn't expect. So it was a bit nervy end here between the 2 big blocks with a lot of static res. Happy not having to check. I checked only 1 time on 9 rollable in 3 turns, so that was totally fine. But I could have played it better to bring support from the Lugard sooner, I feel. And in the end, he ended up doing another 2 wounds to the giant, who didn't die and didn't take the point of the ghoul, but I just ticked them forever. And that's the end of the game. So I ended up taking a bit more than 2,000. He took Vassals and Incarnate from my list. And I got all the ground, which makes it a 17-3. Post-game analysis. So yeah, I think my single model weren't deployed that well, like I told you at the beginning. I went quickly forward to get board control. The 9/5 in the flank from the Overlord was juicy, but way too risky. It was way better to play it the way I did, to make sure I get the Barguard at some point. Happy to get the blunderbuss out of a complicated zone, but at the same time we could say if I would have stayed, it would have forced the court to charge, to be a bit out of the center. It's all about the key question that I haven't been able to answer is, can I take the combat between Lugarth and the court? And I'm not sure I can, to be honest. He has 7 static res, 2 vampire striking, plus a lot of strength 5 in the court, and I was 6 wide. So it's like 18-19 attack on 4s and 2s. I mean, I could easily break. So I felt the combat is too risky. So I think the decision I took to avoid this combat were the right one. And yeah, I'm quite happy about the maneuver on the right side of the map. I was able to get the Anointed in combat and scoring at the same time. Plus, the Incarnate were able to move around the water to keep their flaming attack, and also to bring the Barguard a bit further away from the center, which ended up mattering quite a lot. The giant happy to get his best matchup, obviously, to fight the ghoul. Even if I didn't take point, I just blocked a combat unit for a very, very long time. And yeah, I didn't like the unsupported fight between Bastion and Court. I would have liked to be able to bring something here in this fight, because I felt it was a risky fight. If he would have rolled a bit better, I could have been forced to take a risky check, which isn't easy at all. And overall, yeah, nice learning over Eastleys, good reminder for the Reapers, and also nice to see that the Court is very strong unit with 2 or 3 Vampire in it. The same for the Barguard, it's very nice output from the Vampire in those units, so need to be very careful when facing those blocks. Guys, that's all for this battle report. Talk to you soon from the last practice game before ETC battle report. Thanks a lot for watching, talk to you soon on the channel, bye.